All right, I'm going to try something a little bit different here. I don't usually make these type of videos, but I was in the middle of having a conversation with somebody named Rob Loves JC on Twitter, and I'm going to take something that he said at face value. You know, when writing a cold email, it can be sometimes difficult to infer exactly somebody's tone, and it's even worse on Twitter. And I thought if Rob is having difficulty seeing where I'm coming from, maybe a video would help. Worth a shot. So, a bit of context here. Rob went on a podcast for the first time, I think. The podcast is called Fort Worth Crosstalk. And in that podcast, he made a point when discussing whether or not God needs to abide by the same moral framework that people do. Rob used an analogy.
Say, to use a parallel analogy, let's say I'm the creator of this cell phone, and I've written the code for my cell phone. I don't have to abide by the same laws that this cell phone is guided by when it's programming. Right. I can chuck it against the wall. I can destroy it. I'm not being immoral. I'm its creator. Yeah. So by the same standard, if God chooses to do that with us, why is he moral?
That to me sounded strange. So after I heard that podcast, I asked, so Rob is using the analogy of smashing his phone as an argument for God not needing to abide by the same rules that govern his creation. Does that mean God can, as an example, murder or rape a human, but it wouldn't be immoral? I think Rob had temporarily blocked me at this point. Rob is a little quick with the block button sometimes. But Gary, to his credit, who runs Fort Worth Crosstalk, replied and said, I'm not sure I understand your question. Let me ask you this, so I can better understand your question. Let's say I'm building a car in the garage. I decide I don't like it, and I tear it apart and start over. Is that an immoral act? Just a yes or no will do. To which I replied, nope. Working on your car certainly doesn't strike me as immoral. Now Gary replied, okay, so tearing down your creation and starting over again isn't immoral. I'm glad we could confirm that. Now, I gotta be honest, I really thought there was more coming that day when Gary said that. But there was not. As a matter of fact, I followed up 2 or 3, even 4 times. Do you have any thoughts on that claim you made that God can murder or do immoral things to humans, but it has no moral implications, actually. It's no different than what a person might do to their car. Strangely enough, Gary never replied to any of those requests for clarification, so today something came up where Rob jumped in. So now we're caught up to today. Gary has yet to clarify that question. He's treating it as though it's still a bit of a mic drop moment on his part, and it needs no further clarification. So I asked Rob, are people like cars, Rob? Can God kill humans with the same moral implications as a human destroying a car? Gary seems not willing to explain his claim, but what are your thoughts here? So this is where Rob's response made me think, maybe I should sit down and do this as a video. Because Rob replied to that question was, Mike, you need to settle down. There is nothing that resembles calmness in your tweet. You seem like a very hyper man at the moment, actually. But I did not get blocked today. And that is honestly probably one of the longest back and forths I've ever had with Rob online. So progress. I don't get the sense that they feel that needs further clarification, but I gotta be honest, that does not sound normal to me. And I would love to hear one of them, because they didn't do it on the podcast show, and they have yet to do it on Twitter. They always disappear. But I would love for them to expand on that idea in any way, shape, or form. What does that What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that say? Well, that's a baffling statement. It's a baffling analogy. And it honestly freaks me out. I don't think that humans are like inanimate objects, like a cell phone or a car. And I don't think that there's any way possible for a God to kill a human. And it has no moral implications. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. The act is nothing. And I just would love for one of them to expand on it at all. So we'll see where that goes. Thanks for listening to the question in what is hopefully a little bit of a better context.
But the thing is, I don't let them play their mind games. Like, I hold their feet to the fire. I'm sick of their stupid mind games, man.
Don't play their games because
I don't. I just can't. I just you literally, like, it's like holding hands with a little child. You got to, like, literally, okay, we're talking about this, not that stupid point you're making over there.